To add or subtract the rational expression, we need to make sure that we have the same denominator in all of the expressions. As you can see here, all three have the same denominator of x minus 6. So we're going to keep that same denominator of x minus 6, and then we're going to combine the top. So at the top we have x squared plus x minus 42. Now we want to factor the numerator and see if we have any common factors that we can cancel out from the top and the bottom. So I'm going to factor the top in blue. We have a trinomial. There is no GCF to factor out. So we're going to start with two binomials, and they're going to both start with x because x times x equals x squared. Let's look at C, negative 42. It's negative, so therefore we need to have opposite signs in our factors. So we need two numbers that will multiply to give us negative 42 and add to give us positive 1, which is the coefficient for the bx term. So the two numbers are going to be positive 7 and negative 6. That's because 7 times negative 6 equals negative 42, but 7 plus negative 6 equals 1. And that's going to satisfy what we need to factor. Now let's write the denominator. And now we're going to check for common factors that we can cancel out. So if you notice, we have common factors here of x minus 6 on the top and the bottom. So they cancel out, and I'm going to just be left with x plus 7. So that's our final answer, x plus 7. To add or subtract the rational expression, we need to make sure that we have the same denominator in both expressions. So as you can see here, both expressions have an x squared minus 7x. So we're going to keep that same denominator, and then we're going to combine the top. So we're going to subtract 2x plus 35. So you want to make sure you distribute that negative. So we're going to have x squared, and then when we subtract minus 2x, and then negative times a positive will give you minus 35. So now we're going to factor the top and the bottom. So at the top we have a trinomial, so we're going to start by setting up my binomials. Now x times x gives you x squared. Now the c here is negative, so that means we're going to have different signs in our binomials. Now we need two numbers that will multiply to give me negative 35 and add to give me negative 2. So those two numbers will be 7 and 5, but we're going to make sure that 7 is negative and the 5 is positive. And that works because 5 times negative 7 is negative 35, but then 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2. Now let's factor the bottom. So we factor out a GCF of x, and then we're left with x minus 7. Now we want to check for any common factors that we can cancel out in the top and the bottom. So as you can see here, the top and bottom both have x minus 7, so they can cancel out. So then our final answer is going to be, let's see, x plus 5 at the top over x. Now remember, you can only cancel out factors. So x plus 5, you can't cancel out the x values. That would be incorrect. So this will be your final answer here. X plus 5 over x.